So we're in season 3 officially. It's just not sunk in. And today is episode 3.
What?
Yay.
In this episode, we're going to talk about how dating and relationships can teach you about yourself.
Sorry, can I just ask you a question? Can you see the sort of shadow of my trophy on the wall?
Yeah, looks very cinematic.
Does it look like a penis?
What?
I don't know. I can't see it very clearly from where I am. Oh no! You know what? It actually looks a little bit like the Jesus that's in Brazil.
What is that trophy?
Well, I don't want to toot my own trumpet. Let's move on.
No, you started it. Now finish it.
Okay. Well, I actually won a writing competition.
Writing? You write?
Is bought it, Angelina?
I didn't buy it. It was a competition for erotic short stories.
Okay, what's the title of your script?
Dick of the Bloody Hand. It's kind of a horror story mixed in with eroticism.
It sounds like a fanfic written by a 13-year-old.
Well, that is my sort of main audience, you know.
What, you write for children? Oh, those
Yes.
poor kids. They're gonna be traumatized.
Well,
How could you?
Is that actually legal to write horror eroticism for children?
No.
Well, then let's say I didn't do that. Then I didn't do that, okay?
Why don't you, Dave, use your creative vision to navigate the darkness around you? Maybe you can be better.
Navigate the darkness.
Yeah.
In what way?
Yes.
Sorry?
In what way? Navigate the darkness.
With your
creativity.
creative vision. Yeah.
How does that work, though? Isn't that just words you're saying?
So you basically find positivity and light through creativity and artistic expression.
Isn't that what I'm doing? Writing erotic novels for people or short stories?
No.
Oh, so 50 Shades of Grey didn't mean anything to the culture of humanity.
No, it just made humans sink lower.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh, so you telling me that?
literally.
What about the one with Mr. Darcy?
Sorry?
Did that, Pride and Prejudice?
Don't even compare 50 Shades of Grey with Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice. How dare you?
Do you know how many lonely old women have enjoyed their own company while watching Pride and Prejudice?
Well, yeah, you are right, but 50 Shades of Grey is
A little
what
bit
do you
more
call-
extreme.
It's rubbish. No, it's rubbish, and this is a masterpiece.
Look, I'll be honest, I haven't read 50 Shades of Grey, okay? I don't really know I know what it's about. I haven't read it. For me, that's not really my cup of tea. My erotic novels are more based on the cerebral nature of fantastical ideas. I could read you a small chapter now if you'd like.
I'm not
Suman's
sure.
eyes are telling me no, don't read it.
Well, I trust Suman, so my answer is
Oh,
no,
talking
thank
about
you.
horror. Talking about horror.
Oh yeah, you don't like horror.
No, not really. But I've been through some horror lately, and that's what we'll be talking about.
Oh dear. Do tell.
So I'll share what being on multiple dating apps and speaking to quite a few people have taught me about myself.
Fuck.
I'll be honest. The whole dating scene wasn't what I expected.
Oh dear.
Literally. Yeah.
What happened?
I was under the impression that, I've learned quite a lot about myself and I know how to recognize the red flags and block out all the negative energies and influences. So ultimately, I thought because I am being authentic, I'm being myself, I'm expressing who I am, I will attract people based on what my values are and where I'm heading in life. However, I didn't realize that being in relationships and going out there today is like stretching yourself as an individual. And sometimes that might mean changing your perspectives, being open-minded, and that could lead to you compromising a bit on who you are as an individual, and that can be very triggering. So today, that is what we'll focus on. What do dating and relationships, how do they trigger you and how do they bring out another version of you, which is also who you are, but it's not always the best of who you are. Yes, Dave?
Do you see what I did there? Do you appreciate that?
Yes.
I put my hand up.
Oh, sweet.
Aw,
Yes.
that's so nice.
I don't see why you have to compromise on who you are to be in a relationship. Surely you be who you are and then you find someone who likes you for that.
That's what I thought, but I don't think it works like that.
I mean, you compromise on things you might not like, okay, but you can't compromise on who you are. Maybe you go and watch a film you don't like because they like it, but you don't stop being who you are, no? You hold that in great, certainty or some shit, I don't know. I've kind of faded off there.
Yeah. So let me tell you why I thought that you may need to compromise a little. And I said a little, not too much.
Angelina,
Because-
get the tissues ready.
That's,
Sorry?
Get the tissues ready.
yeah.
Tissues. Who's crying? Who needs help? Suman, do you need some chocolates, water, tea?
Yeah. This is about 5 minutes away from breakdown, I think. So just be prepared, Angelina, okay?
Oh, don't say that, Dave. Suman, open up to us. We will listen to you and we will try to help you with our expert advice.
Yes. I'll try not to break down.
Okay.
Anyways, what I noticed is that we don't always pay attention to our triggers. Sometimes it isn't just because somebody is a bad person or they're trying to trigger you. Most people I spoke to when I was being triggered, we were just not compatible, not looking for the same thing. And I couldn't really understand what was going on. So let's just talk about triggers. What are they? You feel uncomfortable, you feel insecure, you feel on edge, you feel like you want to react, you feel angry, and you feel emotional. Almost like the crazy side of a person comes out. Now, until we recognize our triggers for what they are, I don't think we can fully bring ourselves to the surface, especially in relationships. Go on, Dave.
What are your triggers? I think everybody wants to know.
I'm going to talk about them.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you want to know so badly?
Because he can trigger me.
Oh, Suman, don't reveal it then. You know he's only asking it to be nasty.
Yeah, I know, but I worked on this. So it's going to be a good test for me because it'll stop affecting me eventually. So in a way, he's helping me.
Oh.
Exactly. So what are your triggers then, Suman? Speak them so they will lose power.
So as Dave would agree with me, I've been unlucky in relationships.
Oh, bless.
Whether it's romantic relationships or friendships, I've been disappointed in more ways
And
than one.
disappointing.
Oh,
Sorry. I
shame
couldn't
on
resist.
you.
I'm sorry. That was a low blow.
That's
Well,
okay.
Suman, I wanted to say something. Aren't triggers supposed to make sure you're safe or not to fall for something again?
Yes, that is true, but sometimes we take things out of context. So I could sometimes be triggered by somebody not texting me back. I don't know why somebody isn't texting me back. They could generally be busy. For me to get then triggered and react, that's not really fair on the other person, is it? Or if somebody just texts okay, like that could be a trigger for me because in the past somebody was saying it to offend me. So you've got to remove that story. If you remove that story associated with that incident in the past, I think you're more likely to have a healthy relationship with somebody new because you kind of treat your new relationships like old ones and you expect this person to behave in the same way, or just because they said something, it kind of brings up a memory and you're like, oh, they're trying to offend me. That's when it's not protecting you. It's holding you from being seen.
I understand. I guess it's the traumatic experience that makes it sometimes.
Once you reflect on why you're feeling like this, if you can rationalize it to yourself, then yeah, fair enough. it's making you feel like this for a genuinely good reason. But when I reflected on some of my triggers, I felt really silly.
So what are they?
Is that all you have to ask? You don't feel sorry for all she's went through?
Well, I don't know what she's
Hey.
gone through because she's talking in generalities. I don't
No,
know what she's going
I
through.
told
Yeah, but
you.
she's trying to explain, and all you can think about is what's your trigger? What's your trigger? Like,
Well, I
come
don't
on,
understand
dude.
what she's saying. What she's saying that people break. I don't get it. I don't. I'm lost.
Okay, let's start from the beginning.
No, let's carry on. Let's get to the triggers. Come on, let's get to the juice. Let's get to the meat.
You are really triggering me right now.
Good. I can tell you one of my triggers.
Well, you have triggers?
Very high maintenance women. Can't deal with them.
That tells you something about who you are.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. I want
Too
somebody-
narcissistic cannot stay
No,
together.
no. When I say high maintenance, you know those people who want to
Mhm.
go to Dubai every weekend and photograph themselves in some bougie restaurant being with a gold fucking knife or something. Oh, I'm so bougie and look at me. Those people make me sick.
Well, where do you meet those people? I never
Look who's
encountered.
talking. You bought an award, Dave.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to share my triggers with you two in an emotionally sensitive way, and instantly I'm
Hello,
attacked.
Pots. My name is Cattle. Look at you. You were describing yourself. You are one of those people. You would
I can-
definitely go to Dubai tomorrow if you didn't blow up all your money on that, what was it, cocaine that you owed to the mafia?
Okay, that's another story for another day. But
Mhm.
I feel brutally attacked here.
Well, why don't you sit there and reflect on your trigger,
Fine.
and we'll come back to you. So I was saying that I've been disappointed in relationships. They were not fulfilling in more ways than one.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
so
always
bad.
felt like I had to change myself to fit in. So I always overcompensated,
Aw.
Bless.
and I felt disconnected or started noticing this inconsistency, which is a trigger for me because it makes me question whether this person I thought I knew was ever genuine. And it makes you feel like everything you believed about them was, was not true, was fake.
Aw.
So last year, I decided to go on these stupid dating apps
Whoop, whoop.
in attempt to change my perception about relationships. I was really excited, thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a fairy tale.
Ah, there's your problem, Suman.
What?
Thank you, Angelina.
Suman, I think this is not only you, but I think most women, when they go on these dating apps, they think, oh, the first guy that swipes left or right, I don't know, he's gonna be my Prince Charming. We're gonna live happily ever after. That's fairy tale, Suman. Real life is more complicated than that, you know?
Yes. I can tell you right now, Suman, what you're doing is fantasizing and catastrophizing. And what you need to be doing is going like this, nice and steady, rather than like this. Yes? Angelina, would you agree with me?
I do agree with you really have to be careful when you meet somebody. You know,
Yes.
we tend to idealize people, oh, he's handsome, he's so nice and kind.
Exactly.
But sometimes those nice and kind and handsome guys turn out to be very
Evil.
lazy, violent. Yeah, sometimes, there's a lot of sociopaths out there who can act nice and kind until you're alone with them. And women, not only men.
Yeah, for me, it turned out to be what you guys are saying, that I was living in La La Land minus Ryan Gosling.
Well, that would have made a big difference.
Yes.
I'm not gay, but I wouldn't kick him out of bed.
Well, but I think it's society as well. Hollywood, they portray relationships like The Notebook, like this beautiful relationship, and even when they fight, they kiss and make up, and everything is
Exactly.
fine. They live happily ever after. Real life is, it's a lot of compromising, a lot of hard work.
I think we have to constantly remind ourselves, like, I've made films. You guys have been on film sets. You know what it's like. It takes up hours to set up a shot.
Yeah.
So for me to think this could be reality, could you imagine people who have no affiliations with film industry or don't know how these things are made how it influences their mind and what kind of perception they have of
The
love.
reason
yes.
And
Oh, sorry, Angelina, you go on.
Oh no, I just wanted to say that especially young people, teenagers, when they're first discovering themselves, they watch these movies and they think, oh, it's so great to be an adult. I'll get this job as a columnist in a newspaper and have a boyfriend every week and, have all this money, go shopping, buy expensive
Yeah,
shoes.
some lucky bastards.
okay, so anyone listening out there thinking about going on dating apps, my first tip, whatever you do, make sure you don't set up a direct debit and spend hundreds of pounds without realizing it.
Oh no, Suman, please. Please, Suman, did you tell me you didn't do that?
I did.
Oh my.
I didn't realize that I signed up to a subscription
Why would you do that?
because I was not
Desperate.
thinking. No, I was not
Well, yeah,
thinking.
Dave is right. Were you that desperate?
It's like it costs. You can go on the apps for free, but then if you want to do like the specialist thing, it's like pay £15 a month and you can fucking like everybody.
Wait a minute, Dave. I have a question for you. Do you go on dating sites?
All the time.
I have been on them.
Is that where you met Marjorie?
Which one was Marjorie again? Was she that old woman?
Yeah, that 90-year-old that keeps her teeth in a glass besides on the night table.
No, sorry, I met her at a farmer's market.
Farmer's market? What were you doing at the farmer's market?
Looking for some gilfs. Grandmas I'd like to.
Oh, God. Can they even consent?
Oh, of course she consented, yes. I mean, she's nearly all there.
Oh my God, why did I even ask? Suman, ask anything else. I have to forget.
Grandmas
this.
need love too.
Yeah, but not the love you provide.
Hey, you go into an old folks home, they're like fucking bunnies in
Oh,
there.
Suman, I have a question for you as well.
Yes?
So, I consider you a friend. I consider you a very beautiful, bright, intelligent young lady.
Ooh.
Oh, thank you.
Why do you still go to these apps after all the negative experience you had? I mean, shouldn't you have learned by now? That there's some creeps out there that can be dangerous?
Yes. Like, how come you can't tell them apart? I mean, aren't you studying people?
You should be an expert in human emotions, body language, and you still get scammed this much.
No, I've not been wronged or fooled. I've just been disappointed, like heavily.
That's called dating.
I see a lot of red flags from the first message, from their profile pictures.
Everyone's fucked.
And then I'm thinking, okay, let me just at least give them the benefit of the doubt. Let me just give them the chance. I can't just be a psychologist all the time.
Also, can I just say, I really think that this whole talk, not from you, Suman, this is not an attack on you, but generally on society today, this whole talk of icks and red flags is incredibly detrimental to actually finding a relationship. You should not judge so quickly off the bat.
That's something we can agree on, Dave. And I would like to also add that the more self-aware you are, the more you have worked on yourself. I think it's very difficult for you to find someone because you know exactly what you're looking for, and you can't really then put somebody in that box.
100%. It's why you'll always see some absolute fucking like bottom of the barrel scuzz who's like happy because they just go, fuck it, I'll take anybody. And I think there's a good lesson to be learned there, you know?
Yeah, that's something that I learned about
Eat the food that's put in front of you.
Yeah, but check the
But
ingredients.
what if the food is poisoned?
Well, okay, eat the food that's put in front of you that's not poisonous. Even if it's not
But
the
how
most
do you
delicious.
know? But how do you know it's not poisonous? That's the whole problem.
You have to try a little and see if you get sick.
Are you saying poisonous is like abusive, or are you saying poisonous is like he's a bit of a dick?
Both.
Well, what if he's a serial killer and you push him
Yes,
to the
but
point,
come
he's
on, I
all
mean,
nice?
fucking hell. These are extremists. How many people are serial killers?
But Dave, I mean, haven't you seen the news lately? And a lot of
Don't watch
cases.
the news. It's fucking mind control.
so many things are happening around us. We have to be cautious, especially on these dating apps where everybody,
I think we need to get away from thinking that when we're talking about bad relationships and bad dates, we're more talking about people who are cheating or ignore you or don't treat you with respect or fucking leave at a moment's notice. Not fucking serial killers and murderers. I mean, that's the sort of fantasy shit that puts people afraid. It's not the reality.
Swinder, yes.
Exactly. It's mostly people who are going to fuck you and then leave you, or who are going to not take you out for dinner and go, fucking you pay, or people, it's not the murderers.
Honestly, Angelina, I promise you, if you ever decide to go on a dating app, I will help you. I am quite experienced.
I would love to help you, Angelina.
You?
By the way, side note, let's do a dating profile for Angelina after this.
Sorry?
Not this one, but the next one.
For me? Oh, I don't believe in love anymore. Not after.
Join the club.
Okay, guys, let's not go off topic. So let's talk about setting up your profile. Some personal information that dating apps will ask you, such as your name and where you live. Obviously, be very careful with that. It's okay not to have your full name. I didn't have my full name on the app. Once you get to know someone and you've exchanged numbers, I think it's okay to tell a little bit more about yourself, but don't have it on public display. I think that's just common sense. So let's talk about some of the key questions you need to answer when you sign up. Of course, the most scariest thing ever, personally, for me to answer is, who are you?
Oh, fuck.
Even though I've talked about this question and we've worked on understanding who we are and how to articulate ourselves better, I don't think it ever gets easier, not personally for me. So it's okay not to know the perfect answer to that question, especially if you're trying to put yourself out there in that way, where you're looking for a life partner or someone like a romantic partner. Even if it's just hookups, you still care about how somebody will perceive you.
100%.
So yeah, I mean, I wrote something
Let's
about...
read it out, please read it out.
No.
Well, let me share with the world.
No.
Exclusive. Suman's bio.
No.
Where she talked about how she feels like a rose that's been plucked in winter. Each petal withering to the ground is one more piece of her heart that needs to be picked up and put in a glass and stored and brought back to life by her Prince Charming. Absolute bullshit it was.
Oh, I think it's absolutely beautiful. You're very poetic, Suman.
Oh, thank you. But I mean, I wasn't really getting any matches with that bio.
Yes, and I told her to say, I just want to go out and live free, run in the hills and pick some flowers. Did that go down a bit better, that one?
I think you'll attract a lot of creeps. Well, not that it didn't, but you can't avoid them. But you're kind of asking for it if you've got something like that on.
I can imagine, yes. Hippie types.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to say that those that live in a forest and
Yes.
eat raw food.
All have tie-dye t-shirts and and kiss fish on the lips and stuff.
People do that?
Yeah, people do all sorts. I mean, people talk about their exes, they give their life story away, and sometimes in a very negative way, which is not very attractive. So yeah, less is always more.
Yes.
And whatever you do, please do not write, I don't know what to write here, I am new to this. You don't understand what a red flag this whole sentence is. Like, I just think if you try, you can't even put the effort in to write a bio. Like, what does that tell me about your efforts in a relationship?
Yeah, I don't know how to talk about myself. What do you write in these bios? Oh no, I don't even know what to say. Fuck you. Sorry, that was a bit distortion.
Okay, so with my bio, in the end, I just thought, not writing another episode for my podcast, just kept it casual and sweet. And I also put some nice cat photos on.
Yeah, I would definitely... Wait, you said you got cat photos?
Yeah.
Whose cat is that?
Oh, it's just the one, I saw one on the street.
You
and took
fucking
some
just got...
pictures.
Are you in the picture or just the cat?
You didn't adopt?
Just the cat.
Get those off your profile right now.
What?
Do never put more than one picture on there that isn't of you. And also, never put a picture of yourself with a friend who's more attractive than you.
Oh no, I
You don't have
haven't
any
got
friends
any
at all.
attractive friends.
Um,
Yeah, anyways, that cat photo is better than, people faking wealth and taking selfies
yes,
with
but I
other
mean, at least
people's
when you take a
cars.
photo of somebody else's car, at least they're in the photo. I can tell you right now, no man wants to see a picture of your
It's
cat.
not my cat.
Well, that makes it even worse. You're a fucking tramp taking cats from the road, photographing them like some sort of pervert.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Listen, some men love animals. It shows that Suman has a
Yeah.
very
Yes.
soft side for animals.
Exactly.
That's a
It
Because it was
wonderful
her
thing.
cat.
something.
But how would you feel if I had a
Yes.
profile and some fucking random scabby dog on the street in it? You go, this man's fucking insane. Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure, go on.
Do you think that the whole crazy cat lady thing is fair? Or do you think it's quite wrong?
I think every woman in history who's been called crazy, or, she was actually quite too intelligent or too beautiful for her own good. Well, it's true. Look what happened to Joan of Arc. Well,
Fucking nutter.
she was too... No, she was a revolutionary.
No, I'm only joking because you know what? Joan of Arc's actually a fucking badass, right? I'm not saying
I
she's
met
not.
her. I actually
Oh.
met her in heaven. She's a very nice lady.
Was she all grown up now?
No, once you die, you die the age you stay the age you died at. I think she was only 16, 17 when she died.
So wait, you're telling me there's a load of babies in heaven?
Oh, yes.
Can they drink alcohol?
No. Oh, what kind of a question is that?
Wait,
No.
you're telling me if I die as a 5-year-old, I stay as a 5-year-old?
Of course. What did you think?
Well, that sucks.
Oh, well, that's the rules. It's not me. I didn't make the rules.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad if I die, at least I'll die older than I am now.
Okay.
Bloody hell.
Enough of this. Let's get to the point.
Yes.
I just wanted to obviously talk about the question of who you are, and how to express yourself on these apps, what kind of things to write and what to avoid. But let's talk about dating and the triggers that it brought for me.
Fucking hell. I think this is going to be a little bit long. Okay, Suman, speed through. Go on.
The whole thing just made me feel extremely overwhelmed. I knew what was happening to me. I knew that this was just anxiety. This is just a phase. But you just cannot control your nervous system. You cannot control your triggers. And that's what I was struggling with.
Why were you so fucking overwhelmed? I mean, it's just a dating app.
Yeah. What happened, Suman?
Well, I just think my nervous system thought I was in threat because I've not had great relationships in the past. And a lot of things people said just triggered me. And also I have anxiety on my phone. So because I was using my phone quite a lot.
Oh.
Stop being so fucking soft. Woman up, for goodness sake.
But it's not in your control. It's your subconscious mind that doesn't.
Then you grab your subconscious mind and you beat it into submission.
No, it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's is it fight or flight reflex in human
If you
psyche?
fall down, you get back up. Don't let these triggers rule you, Suman. You're better than that.
Well, that's why I'm doing the podcast. It helps me understand myself better and hopefully I can get past my triggers.
I
And
mean, we've been doing it for like 2 years by now, Suman. I thought you'd be better.
Oh, Dave, don't be so insensitive. It's the subconscious in humans. Humans are not like angels and devils. Their subconscious is a big part of their identity, and it controls their body more than they realize.
Right, okay.
and having a devil like you, could you imagine? Every trauma that I heal through, I get presented with the next one on a tray by you the following day.
Yeah, Dave.
Yes, and what do psychologists say? You have to face your traumas head on. I'm basically healing.
Of course. Okay. So I was saying, talking to people, I noticed I was getting triggered by certain things, some that made sense and some that didn't make any sense to me. And I started feeling very off. So I talked to a friend and ran some comments by her of what this person said, some text messages. And she said to me, and I was like, and you don't think there's anything wrong with what this person said? She was like, No.
Can you explain one for us, please? Just give us a more rounded idea. Don't be too specific.
Yes.
You can change some minor details, just so we have an idea of what you mean.
Yes,
So I
I'm
can
curious too.
So
Yes.
somebody said, like, where are you from?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, come on. Was he white?
No, he wasn't white.
Well, then what's the trigger?
Because I thought they were being racist, but they weren't. That's the thing.
Wait, wasn't he? Is he not Asian
Oh.
himself as well?
Yeah, he was Asian. That's why I was just like, why would
What?
you ask that for? I just
What's
got
wrong with
triggered.
asking that? I mean,
Exactly. That's the point I'm making.
oh right, okay, Suman. So yeah, I agree with you. You need to fucking chill of the triggers of these sort of ones. Yes, that's very innocuous.
But wait a minute, Dave. I think it's the way how they ask. If somebody asks you in a polite way, hey, where are you from? I'm really interested, or I love traveling and all, then it's okay. But if they ask you like, oh, where are you from?
Yeah, but over a text, you cannot read.
Yes, over a text. It just says, where are you from?
Fair point.
So
fair
it
point.
was my mind that was giving it meaning and like a story behind it, and I was feeling like
Ah.
intimidated, like all of a sudden, like how dare you be? And then I was like, well, it's literally from the same culture.
Oh,
So I think what we're finding out is that Suman is the one who's causing pain. No, I'm only joking, Suman.
Okay, anyways, so our emotions can sometimes deceive us, especially when they feel urgent or compelling. And I also find when you're texting somebody, compared to when you speak to them first time on the phone, it's like two different people. When you
Oh,
haven't got
yes.
to know somebody in reality, your mind makes up a version in your own
Some
head.
people can't text well, and some people
Oh,
can,
yeah.
but they're absolutely boring bastards in real life.
Exactly. So that's something
I ask
you
you a
would be
question,
mindful
Suman?
of. Yes, you've asked me a few.
Just to spice this up a little bit.
Yes.
If you were going to design your perfect man, what were the traits, looks, or qualities that you would want?
Okay, so I think communication is the number one thing. Somebody who knows how to communicate their emotions, their needs, who they are,
Right.
not just by words, but if their words align with their actions, that thing that makes me want to trust them more. I would rather somebody just be consistent and I can predict them.
Okay, so consistency,
Yeah.
communication,
Yeah.
very nice.
Nice sense of humor as well, which is so rare. So, I mean, I'll just have that as a bonus.
Lovely. And the no-no list? What
A
are the
no-no
no-nos?
list is somebody who doesn't judge other people. So, Dave, you're definitely like
you're
Right,
already
okay.
eliminating it
Yeah.
on the first one.
I understand
somebody who
that.
doesn't judge, somebody who's tolerant of different faith, cultures, who's
Mm.
not like secretly racist, who can
Exactly. And when your eyes are closed and you're making love, you don't know if they're brown, black, white, whatever, you know? You just know your two bodies wrapped in a passionate heat.
Well, I guess you should know who your partner is, but I know what you. I guess I understand what you wanted to say. I mean,
Sometimes when the room's very dark, you don't know who you're reaching out for.
I think you're speaking from experience.
I've been to a few parties.
Oh. Have you ever been with a man?
No, it's frowned upon in hell.
How do you know?
What, that I don't like it?
No, I mean, you said yourself in the dark you don't see the color of
Oh, I
this.
may have grabbed a Hancock or two, but I don't know if that's classified as being with a man. Yes, I've had sex with men, but have I dated
Oh.
them? No.
Okay.
I'm a devil, baby.
Okay, good to know. Anyways, if you're someone like me who is an anxious, avoidant attachment in relationship, and that's a term used to describe people who, well, it explains a lot of their triggers. And we talked about attachment styles in season 2. Can't remember which episode it was, but I think it was the
So
texting
what
one.
is this anxious avoidant thing? You're saying go back. I'm not going back and watching a whole episode just to figure it out. What is it?
You're listening to a whole episode.
Well, listening, watching, whatever. Anxious avoidant. What's that sort of shit?
Dave, I'm trying to promote other episodes.
Okay, go listen to the other episode about avoidant, angry,
No,
anxious
it's
people.
called so season 2, it's called How to Read Anyone by Their Text Messages, and it's in 2
Ah.
parts. They're both an hour long, and I can't really remember which part I said it in, but yeah, go listen to both of them.
I'm not listening to season 2 for fucking no money.
Okay.
Just tell me, what's this avoidant thing?
Okay, I'll tell you for the last time.
Right.
Basically, an attachment style that involves complex interplay of feeling close and distance.
Oh.
So it's like being hot and cold.
Oh,
And
they're
people-
the worst.
Yeah, they're complicated,
Oh.
aren't they? Like me. So people with this type of attachment style can be unpredictable. They can be quickly overwhelmed, as well as they struggle to like stay in the relationship. Do you get it now, Dave?
I don't fucking understand.
Angelina, do you get it?
Well, I think I understand it. So basically, people like this have a desire for intimacy, but at the same time, the reluctance to embrace it. Am I getting it right?
Yeah. So if you haven't
Absolute nightmare. Can you imagine going on a date with somebody? They go, yes, I want to eat vegetables, but I'm afraid of eating vegetables. Then you go, oh, don't eat them. And they go, no, but I want to eat vegetables, but I'm afraid. Well, then eat them or don't eat them. What? Do one or the other. Bloody hell. I don't ever want to date someone who's avoidant attachment, what the fuck it's called.
There are people like that, Dave, and there's always an inner issue, the upbringing.
Well, exactly. But it's not my job to sort out somebody's bloody issues, is it?
It's not
Leave
really
your
good
baggage at the door, madam.
But it's not easy to leave all your baggage at the door, because the more you keep it inside yourself, the more it bottles up, and then it explodes everywhere
Well, that's
around
fine,
you.
but don't leave the baggage at my door. Go to somebody else's. I don't want to deal with
Okay.
that shit.
So basically, it's easier to judge people like that. But look, nobody's doing this from choice. I'm not deliberately trying to be complicated.
You're just a woman.
What?
It's all right, Angelina, ignore him. So if you've not been nurtured properly, you emotionally, what I mean, obviously you've been fed and sheltered, all of that, but you were not felt, you were not uplifted.
Suman.
So being emotionally neglected is something that, was there, but you could never see. And it's so hard to recognize that in your adult life. And because we have not really learned to understand emotions in their context, we complicate things and we just, all over the place sometimes. So you get wired to almost resist your emotions and neglect parts of who you are, because in the past that was not fully accepted. And as a result, I think a lot of people grow up not really knowing what their emotional truth is or how to express themselves emotionally, and that can be a big problem in relationships. So being on these dating apps strangely made me realize that there were realities of me that I was resisting, some uncomfortable emotional truth that I was avoiding. The triggers and the red flags I encountered actually helped me get a deeper insight to some of the things I do and say every day, the choices I've made in my life, my career, things that I'm drawn to, the arguments that I would have. Everything is connected to who you are and what you believe in. So once you start noticing your triggers, just sit down with them for a little while. At first, obviously, it's going to be very, very uncomfortable, but I do think once you sit down and reflect on why you feel like this, there's going to be a story behind it. So remember the first episode where I talked about the fairies?
Of course I don't remember that.
Well, Suman, I have to say, everything you described now kind of describes Dave in a way, I have to admit.
Well, he is my devil, so yeah, I mean, I am talking about the worst side of who I am.
Well, Dave, I mean,
Yes.
you have a fear of attachment, and you don't really understand relationship dynamics. I mean, that's why you're divorced from Angela.
I'm more avoidant attachment than what do you say?
No, you're
anxious?
an anxious attachment, Dave.
I am definitely not anxious attachment because
Oh,
I
you
don't
are.
fucking want intimacy.
Are you sure? I mean, Angela told me she showed me your drunk text. I mean, I
Why
was
are
with
you always talking to Angela?
because she's my good friend.
Then why are you going on dates with me?
What?
I'm not going on dates with you. You're just taking me for ice cream. That's not a date.
We've been to ice cream 3 times now.
though. I love ice cream.
Angelina, some could argue that is dating.
What? No way in the world. We just went for ice cream and he was drunk. How can that be a date when he isn't aware? He isn't even aware he's with me.
What about the time you held my hair back while I threw up?
Well, because I'm a nice angel.
Sounds pretty intimate to me.
Okay, next time I will let you die, okay?
Like, well.
Date my ass. Sorry, excuse me.
Anyways, I was talking about the magical fairies.
Oh, I love fairies.
Yeah, so we talked about that in the very first episode.
Oh, well, I'm not going to remember that, am I?
Well, I just was basically trying to say the child in me still believes life is a fairy tale, has high expectations, and, you know, you kind of grow up thinking, I'm going to meet the Prince Charming, but you're basically setting me up to see Prince Charming in every beast that I meet.
Well, I think women like beasts sometimes.
They fucking love them.
So as children, we don't just learn about the moral of the story. We are making generalizations. We're making up our belief. The fairies are basically a metaphor for things people say, the promises people make, the dreams they show you, and ultimately lead to nothing. That is my biggest nightmare in relationships.
I think every individual had a human in their life who they idolized, who they thought the world of.
Yeah.
And that person betrayed them or, you know, just disappeared from their life, and it's a traumatic experience.
Quick question for you two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going slightly off piste here, but I suppose we are talking about Tinder and...
Page 6 we are, so not too bad.
Okay, not bad. We are talking about dating and apps, and obviously part of the app stuff is that, you know, when you start talking to somebody, particularly if they're an attractive lady, such as you are yourself, Suman. See, we can all lie.
I just wanted to say how nice you were, Suman. You are beautiful.
No, Suman knows that I have a secret crush on her, let's be honest. But I was more thinking about how do you feel knowing that when you're texting somebody, messaging them, they're actually messaging lots of other people at the same time? As I'm sure at the start you were, you're speaking to a couple of guys maybe, or maybe more, and they're probably speaking to a few girls. How do you deal with that sort of anxiety?
Okay, great question.
That's a good question, wasn't it?
I only speak to one, maximum two people at the same time.
Right.
It doesn't take me long to know yes or no.
Right, but if you have two guys you're speaking to and you're enjoying talking to both of them, they're green flags galore, and then a third gentleman likes your picture. He's tall, he's handsome, he's got good hair, he's got good communication, he's got a good body. Do you then add him to the talking roster, or do you kick one of the guys out?
First of all, I'm really struggling to talk to anybody at the moment.
Right.
I've not been in that situation where I've had so many options. I'm like, which one do I go for? I'm now
What do you say
thinking
to the girls who are?
it's about how this person makes you feel, because over time, everybody will show you their true color. So if you're dating, date the 3 guys for 1 or 2 weeks, and eventually they will filter themselves out. Because I was thinking the same. I was like, how do I know? What do I do? No, they will tell you who they are, because guys are not that smart.
Oh,
They will literally mess up very, very soon.
interesting.
They will make it easier for you. You don't have to do anything. All you got to do is just be positive to a degree, not overly positive, and
Yes,
just
you don't want to be.
let them do the work. You don't chase girls and guys. Don't chase anybody.
But if nobody chases, then doesn't...
Don't chase. Just get to know each
and
other.
if you get a feeling
Just
that they
text.
don't want to talk to you, then fucking leave them.
I think we should mention something that is really, really common when you're getting to know someone
Gonorrhea.
and dating is if you have an anxious attachment style, you have a lot of pressure to make it work. So if things are not predictable or normal, it really bothers you. Even the small disagreements can lead to disconnection because it's happened in the past. But as part of growth, you got to see conflicts as opportunities to build understanding, in quote, with the right people.
Honestly, they go, you don't own me, you can't tell me what to do. Oh, I quite like the shadow behind me. I look quite large, don't I?
Yeah, but you aren't.
That's true.
We should talk about the fact that the whole dating app concept isn't something we as humans are wired to build connection. because real connection requires real contact.
That's true, yes.
I don't mean that kind of contact. I mean being present, having real conversations, and being on dating app is like scrolling through Instagram or TikTok. You get fed the same thing because
Honestly.
the algorithm thinks you're into that kind of stuff. Where you're
Ugly
thinking,
Polynesian
look,
girl, and now every girl's an ugly Polynesian girl popping up on my thing.
What?
and the reality is people on dating app don't know how to present themselves. Like, look, I've done all this work on identity and self-awareness, and you can look at my profile and still swipe left because there could be something like that cat photo that I put down.
Yes.
Some people literally could think I'm crazy or I'm immature, like, you know, that was unnecessary. It could be a nick for someone.
I'm looking at my profile right now, my old one. Disgusting.
Okay. And they could, you know, these people, you meet them in person, they could be genuinely lovely, but over text, it could be very tricky because the system isn't quite user friendly. So here are some common reasons why I was so overwhelmed and so on edge all the time. And I think these are just generic, but they would apply to other people. So fear of rejection, so the possibility of you being rejected on these apps, you liking someone and them not liking you back.
Classic.
Self-presentation is what we talked about. It's like going for a job interview. You know you're going to be judged.
Oh, of
You
course.
know there are creeps looking at your profile, especially for women.
Yes.
You know? Privacy concerns.
Maybe I should change my name.
What, on the dating apps?
Big Daddy or something like that.
Why is your name David anyway? I mean, David is such a... I won't lie, it sounds like an angel. I mean, if you were Lucifer, I would understand.
Well, when I was sent to Earth, they thought it'd be better for me to have a name that might resonate with the Christian population, seeing as I was mostly residing in the UK and Europe.
So I just got this message from this person, and it says, "Hi, hope you're well and in good health."
That's nice and kind
That's
of
not-
them. I
that's
mean, they
pretty
do
good.
sound like they're 70 or something.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's the point I'm trying to make. So
Maybe they live with their grandparents. What if they're raised by their
yeah,
grandparents?
maybe he's a mummy's boy.
A mummy's boy. That's actually a good question. Which is worse, a mummy's boy or a daddy's girl?
Both.
Well, that's me off the menu then.
You have a mother?
A long, long time ago.
Is her name Lilith by any chance?
Angelina, of course he has a mother. Because how else would...
How would I be born?
I don't know. I thought devils were like, you know.
I've got a secret for you all that maybe isn't known quite well in the human world. As
Ooh.
it is often spoke of and mostly well received that God is of a masculine energy, the devil is actually a woman. Dun dun dun.
That's going to be my next film, dude.
That would actually make perfect sense, wouldn't it? Crazy,
Ah.
power
Because
hungry.
everybody thinks he's a man, and she's like,
Love it.
well, I can fool people.
Also, what's sexier than a sexy devil?
Sexy Satan.
Sorry, you can see I have some quite complex feelings for my mother. I didn't mean to bring all those up.
Anyway, so another reason why you might be quite overwhelmed to go on these dating apps is uncertainty. I think that was a really big one. You just don't know a lot. You don't know what you don't know. And not knowing what to expect and what this could bring in your life could be stressful. So my tip is just think of it as making friendships. Don't even think about marriage or relationship or dating or kissing or anything like that. Just text and just try to get to know someone on a friendship level.
But there are some girls who are like that. There's some girls who, you know, as soon as they meet a guy, they start talking about marriage and kids, and then the guys become so scared they run away.
No, but there are some guys. This guy, like, he was talking to me like, "Oh, have you got your wedding dress ready?" And they like try and sweet talk with you.
Love
run
bombing.
away from guys like that.
Well, now I know that love bombing is a bloody red flag. I
Or
will.
maybe they're just too desperate.
What they're doing is trying to create a premature attachment. So they're
Yes.
keeping you hooked up to this idealized version. So later down the line, when they act like
Ah.
dickheads, you're like, "Oh yeah, but remember what we had?"
Yes.
Well, you had nothing.
They're selling you a dream, aren't they?
Yeah.
Trying
That's
to make
it,
you
Dave.
believe. Exactly. You know,
Ooh.
I've done it before, so I know it quite well.
Aw, Dave, I just gave you a compliment. Every time I praise him,
know.
he does something.
I am sorry, but at least I'm honest. Sometimes.
I realize that what we resist will end up confronting us in the most challenging times. Whether we resist dealing with certain issues, emotions, situations, what we push back into the back of our minds will jump scare us in the most challenging times. This could be ignoring emotions, avoiding difficult conversation about a topic, any personal challenges that you've had. We all resist negative emotions. We all trying to bury certain parts of ourselves, things we don't like. You're resisting reality, and reality eventually catches up with you.
That's what they say in the
So
Matrix.
I realized in practice that nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect.
Suman, don't you discredit yourself like that. You are one of the most perfect women I've ever met.
Okay. Come on. I know there's going to be a big insult after a compliment.
No, I'm just going to let that hang there. You know.
Hang there, so I overthink, and I'm like, what's he going to say?
I can't wait, Suman, for you to be 50 years old, and I'm still sitting here telling you what a fat, lazy, good-for-nothing you are, and you telling me how much you hate me and how I've ruined your life.
Oh, don't listen
However,
to him.
I will not be here in 20 seasons, as I think at the end of this season, I'm applying to move to Spain to work there.
Spain?
Because I'm sick of the fucking people in England.
I would think you're an Amsterdam guy. I mean, isn't that the Wild West of Europe?
We can video call you.
Yeah.
God, I can't even get out of it that way, can I? Okay, yes, we'll be doing 20 seasons.
So this may be the most contradictory thing you'll ever hear me say. It's going against the mission statement of this podcast, but I have to tell you, identity crisis isn't always a bad thing.
What do you mean?
If you identified with something that isn't there anymore, you may think that your world is shrinking, but it could be expanding. It's opening up doors for you. This is when you start getting close to yourself, because if there's no problems, you just live your life as it is. But as soon as you're like, shit, something's just happened, I don't feel myself anymore, you start going a path that's meant to you because you're forced to do things, take risks.
Exactly. I like that, Suman. You know what? Clap, clap for you there, Suman. Clap,
Thank
clap.
you.
I will give you your props there. That's not bad work. However, you will hit rock bottom at some point, and you have not hit it yet.
Oh, don't say that, Dave. Don't discourage her.
No, I'm only joking, Suman. I'm sure you were pretty fucking low. I mean, I was there. Those cakes didn't eat themselves, did they?
Yes. I also learned that I'm not very realistic and forgiving and good at forgetting things and letting them go.
You hold a grudge, don't you?
I do.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yes,
I do too.
exactly. And that's why you're my devil.
I think the toughest question is, how do you let things go? Especially as a human.
Well, I can answer that. She doesn't. She holds on to them like a hungry boy holding on to his last pretzel.
Is it time? Like time heals everything?
No.
I think
doesn't.
it's probably eating and then going for a run.
No, that makes it worse.
Oh, do you listen to Frozen and sing Let It Go?
You could do if you're a 4-year-old.
Let it go, let it go. Wait, can we just do a very quick side thing? Just 10 seconds. Favorite Disney character of all time?
Mulan, she is independent and can kick ass.
I'm with you on Mulan. Definitely with you on Mulan, yes. Absolute hottie as well.
I like the mermaid.
Mermaid's not bad. She's a little bit young for me, to be fair.
I mean, she was 16 and she just wanted to get married. Like, come on, girl, go to
I
some
know.
parties before.
All she wanted was a fucking bit of money, status, and a penis. Absolute little slut she was. Should be called Little Swimming
Well, she
Slut.
was already a princess. But she was already a princess. She had money.
But she wanted more, didn't she? She wanted
I mean,
land. And
She was rich.
oh, that's true. Rich in what? Seashells? Pah.
So we were talking about letting things go. So let's just let this one go.
Let this go, okay.
In season 3, we're all about doing things differently, practically, and taking some risks, asking the right questions. And I thought about, well, what could you do if you want to let go? And for me, if you want to let go of something, hold on to something else.
Ooh, I
Ooh,
like that.
interesting.
Yeah.
That
This
sounds
means
quite erotic as well. Is that, no?
this means being open to new connections, creating new memories, taking small, sensible risks with your heart. And just remember, your heart is waterproof now. Like, whatever's happened,
Yes.
it's not going to affect you in the same way.
Sorry, isn't that a little bit like when people say to get over somebody, you've got to get under somebody?
Not quite. What you could do is focus on your career or try up a new hobby.
That's a good advice.
For me, my work is amazing because it really takes my mind off everything. So that works for me. I could start a new script, I could start a new project, I could write another episode of the podcast, and that usually really helps.
Good.
And think of it, if you're going through a heartache now, listening to this, remember, it's not the end of the world. Your feelings have very, very little to do with the person and more to do with your unmet needs.
100%.
So I also learned not to obsess over things because it's really not about the person.
So what I'm hearing is basically, you've been dumped, get out there, live your life, and remember that basically the person you're dating is probably shit anyway, and there's always someone better.
Well, I think it's like that saying, you dodge the bullet sometimes. You know, in the moment you
Yes.
think life is unfair and all, but in the long run you think, you know, I dodged the bullet. Who knows what would have happened if I stayed with that
Yes,
person?
it's more the image you create around them and the sort of this dream, fantastical thing you make of them. You
Yeah.
hold them up on a pedestal, don't you? They're going to be this thing and make me feel this way. But in reality, you have to make yourself feel that way.
Yes.
Isn't that the same as sometimes girls especially, but boys as well? They fall in love with the fantasy version of the
Yes,
person,
yes,
not
yes,
with
yes.
the real person, you know?
Yes, you have to distinguish between fantasy and reality of who you are. I think that's just anyone's biggest life lesson.
Yes, like right now I'm really in... Oh, sorry. No, I carry on, Suman.
And something I also learned about myself is I can live in two parallel worlds. So obviously the fantasy world and the reality world, and I want the gap between the two worlds to be as close as possible because I do like that fantasy world. I like to go into my imagination. I like to think impossible because sometimes I have achieved great things doing that because imagination takes you everywhere. So I love going into my imagination. However, I also want to stay in my reality and be authentic because it's amazing for the work that I do, but not so much for my personal life. I think that's my goal for authenticity.
You're talking about authenticity.
Uh-huh.
What is an authentic person? Because as far as I know, and being a devil, I have quite a lot of experience in this. Everybody lies. So how do you know if they're being authentic or not?
I think for me, authentic person is somebody who says it like they mean it.
That's me.
Dave, the only time you say the truth is when you know it will benefit you in some way.
Are you still thinking about that girl who catfished me? You think I should have told her I didn't like her?
No, but I do think that you will manipulate the truth in many times
Yes.
just to get your way.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? Suman, am I wrong?
No, he does.
And
He
you've
loves
never
doing
done that, Suman, my good friend. And Angelina, you never manipulated the truth.
No.
No, she's an angel.
Why? Why would I do that?
That is true, to be fair. Well, Suman does. She loves it.
I mean, in terms of what lots of life coaches say about authentic person, these are some of the signs. They rarely criticize or judge others. They're able to walk away from situations that are not working for them without hurting people. Dave,
Oh, this is absolutely me. This is me to a T.
totally okay with being flawed and can be vulnerable.
That's me.
Tolerate being disliked and don't need validation from others.
100% me.
Communicate communicate their boundaries and needs even when it's hard, and
Oh, always.
Lastly, Dave, you're gonna fail at this. Able to reflect on themselves without blaming others.
I am
Dun-dun!
basically the most authentic person on this podcast.
No.
But I do all those things.
You like to convince. You love to convince others that you are, but deep inside, you know you're a manipulative little imp.
A manipulative little imp. Wow, I think that's the closest you've come to genuinely insulting me. What would God say about that? Would he be happy with that?
Well, God doesn't mind because he thinks you're horrible creatures that don't deserve to live. You see,
Bloody hell, God wants to kill me.
Well, not kill you, but, eradicate you in some way.
Well, he wants what? To genocide all the devil.
Well, you are evil creatures, but
we're getting into dangerous topics here, aren't we?
I like to give chances to people no matter what they've done because I think there's always a little bit of good in everybody.
You're not Dave.
Well, if that's the case, if you're willing to give chances, then how about a fourth date? A real date?
No. I'm not. Listen, I know what happened to poor Angela, and I don't want something like that to happen to me.
She's living well. I'm still paying her bloody alimony.
Well, you should, after all she's been through. Oh,
what did she go through?
Oh, Suman, I heard she's dating a new guy.
What, really? Who?
Ha ha ha, gotcha.
Oh, fuck off.
So, talking about authenticity, it's important to understand that not everybody will resonate with your authenticity.
Interesting.
Be different, be bold, be brilliant.
People will call you out on it. They will make it seem like you're such a problem. Perhaps you will even break up with somebody because being authentic is not serving that relationship.
Okay, now, how do you feel about open relationships?
No. Disagree.
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
You're not into them?
No.
Have you ever been with a guy who said that he'd wanted one?
No.
No?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, yes, I know. It might be in a secret way, but that's not open relationship. Okay, and Angelina,
what is an open relationship?
An open
You're
relationship.
either open or you're in a relationship.
Well, an open relationship is a relationship where you're dating somebody, you may be married to them or in love with them or whatever. However, you are allowed, within certain parameters, to both enjoy the sensual pleasures of life with other people. Sometimes that will be sharing somebody together, or maybe going on dates separately.
Why don't you just say you're in a committed relationship, but you can fuck around?
Well, because saying it's open
That's
relationship is a bit of a
open
nicer way of
relationship.
saying it.
Angelina, do you have any questions?
Have you ever been catfished before?
Oh, we did speak about that, yes, brutally so.
How do you react in those situations? I
You
mean,
just stay calm. So I did this video call with a guy. Pictures were like very posh and he looked
Okay.
quite high society. But then when I was speaking with him, he couldn't even pronounce a lot of
He was a fucking scrote, basically.
and also he started smoking.
Oh.
Right, so you match with a guy and you thought he was sort of an aristocratic vibe, and he turned out to be a fat, ugly, smoking boy.
And then he was like, I'll show you my room, and it's mess everywhere. And I'm just like,
Because we're honest.
you're not honest, you're just dumb.
No. This is why I don't video call with girls, because it's all about the angles, and if you get the angle wrong, you can look terrible, can't you? I actually got catfished once as well.
Really?
Yes, and it was this lady, and she looked very attractive in her photos, or at least
Oh, girls,
very-
girls will easily catfish you because they can make up filters.
exactly
They know
the
the
filters.
tricks.
Oh my god, the angles just to get it just right.
I'll be honest, I've not used any filters in the pictures that I've
Good.
put on.
Good girl.
Very natural.
I can't believe you were catfished, Dave. I mean, I thought you were more clever than that.
Well, I can finish the story for you. I'll tone it down a little bit. So I get to the house, and bearing in mind, it was that sort of date. It was a kind of just come straight round kind of date, you know?
All you kids listening to this out there, don't ever go to a stranger's house, whether you're a boy or a girl. Don't. It is so dangerous. Don't listen to Dave.
I did worry a little bit when I got there. But anyway, she opens the door and oh my God. Listen, I'm into all types of different people and women, you know. It doesn't matter if you're tall, short, fat, skinny, whatever, but she was nothing like her pictures. I mean,
Oh.
talk about ugly stepsister.
Oh my God. What
But
did you do?
well,
Did
I
you
was
run?
already there. I'd come a long way, so I ate my dinner like a good boy and then left. By eating dinner, I mean sex.
Yeah, we get it. So you're that desperate? You would sink that low?
Imagine what it would have done. How would she have felt if I just left? It would have
You
crushed
could
her.
have faked it, like
Faked what?
fake an emergency.
And oh my goodness, and you think she wouldn't see through that? Are you telling me if a man came on a date with you and you see his face drop when you open the door and then he goes, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, my grandma just died," you would feel like
No, look, you could just fake being a gentleman and you could be like, look, I don't have sex outside marriage or something.
I can't say that after what I messaged her. All the sort of filth I was texting on the way there. You can't back out
Dave,
after that, can
Oh God.
I know.
Dave, you could have sent me a message to call you.
you? But then I just feel like sneaky and you know, either I say to her, "Look, you're a fucking uggo and I'm not feeling it," or you just do the manly thing and you just do it anyway, which is what I did.
You're such a weird little devil. Like in one moment you say, "Oh, I don't care about other people's feelings. You know, I'm brutally honest." But then in the next moment you feel sorry and you want to stay with her because you don't want to hurt her feelings. Like,
Yes, okay, I did also want to dip my beak, so to speak. And, you know, I was already excited by the time I arrived. And imagine you go to a restaurant and you're starving. You get there, the food's terrible, but you've been waiting for 3 hours to eat. You go, fuck it, I might as well eat it.
would you eat a poop as well if you were that hungry?
No, it has to be edible. I mean, she wasn't a dead sack of like, you know, she was alive. She was a real person.
Oh
So,
my God. So did you ghost her after that?
yes.
Well, that's even worse. Now she feels like she was used only for, well,
You know what? I'm not going to lie. The sex was actually all right.
well, I guess better something than nothing.
Well, exactly. And also, I was like, you know what? I'm only here once. I'm all horned up. It's not what I came for, but let me put on a show for her, you know?
Well, that's nice of you.
My cape was blowing in the wind.
Oh God. Okay.
True story.
Yes, like all of your stories. Take it with a grain of salt.